Hi, my name's Sanvi, and I'll be talking about cell signaling and alopecia. So, what is cell to cell communication? Cells communicate using small molecules called signal molecules or ligands. A signal binds to a specific receptor on a target cell. Once the signal is detected, the cell starts a signal transduction pathway, which is a series of protein activations inside the cell. The pathway ends with a cellular response, such as turning a gene on and off, releasing hormones, changing metabolism, or activating immune cells. So, what is signal transduction? Signal transduction is the second step in cell to cell communication. The first one is reception, which is when a ligand binds to a receptor on the cell surface or inside the cell over here. Then transduction, which is basically a chain reaction of proteins that relays and amplifies the signal from the reception over here. And finally, the response, which is when the cell changes behavior. So there's different types of receptors. In the first step, there's a G protein coupled receptor. So how it works is that when a signal binds to the extracellular part of the receptor protein over here, the G protein binds to the signal receptor complex inside the cell over here. When bound to the complex, the G protein's GGP is exchanged for GTP over here. And then the G protein then binds to and activates a target protein, which produces intracellular events leading to a cellular response. In signal transduction, there's also kinases and second messengers that affect the whole process. So protein kinases are enzymes that add phosphate groups to proteins, a process called phosphorylation. This phosphorylation can change the shape or activity of a protein, usually turning it on, though sometimes it can turn it off. Because of this ability, protein kinases act like on and off switches. So the kinase cascade is when one kinase can activate several other kinases and form a signal amplification chain. This cascade amplifies the original signal so that a small initial signal can produce a large cellular response. Second messengers. So basically, cells often use small molecules called second messengers to carry a signal from the cell surface to the inside of the cell. An example of this is calcium ions or CAMP. So what do cells do when they receive a signal? A cell may turn genes on or off, change metabolism, open or close ion channels, divide or stop dividing, activate immune responses, or release hormones or neurotransmitters. So what is alopecia areata? It's an autoimmune disease where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks its own hair follicles. And this causes sudden patchy hair loss on the scalp, eyebrows, eyelashes, or other body areas that have hair. So alopecia areata is not inherited in a simple Mendelian pattern. It is not autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, or sex linked. It's actually polygenetic, which means that multiple genes contribute to susceptibility. Important genes include those involved in immune system regulation. Here are the four main genes listed. And there's also other environmental triggers that can initiate or worsen the disease. And you also have family risks, such as having a parent or sibling with alopecia. But the exact pattern of inheritance is unpredictable. So this slide is basically the different types of genes from this slide. These are the four main types of genes and the chromosomes involved. Here are the functions and then the roles in the disease. So these genes are all part of the immune system, explaining why alopecia areata is an autoimmune disease. No single gene causes the disease, as we mentioned before, it's polygenetic. So how signaling goes wrong in alopecia? For normal hair follicles, the immune system ignores hair follicles, recognizing them as self tissue. Hair follicles receive normal growth signals, allowing the hair to cycle through growth regression and resting phases without interruption. So, in alopecia areata, autoimmune signaling malfunctions causes killer T cells to mistakenly target hair follicle cells. T cells attack the follicle, leading to local inflammation. Inflammatory cytokines, which are basically immune signaling molecules, block growth signals, preventing the molecule from entering its active growth phase. As a result, hair follicles enter a resting phase prematurely, causing hair to fall out. So symptoms include patches of hair loss, loss of eyebrows anywhere with hair, nail changes, tingling or itching, etc. So that's it. Here are my references, and thank you so much for listening.